What's up, Squires? Welcome back to Squire Time. I'm Caden.
I'm John.
And I'm Hanson.
And today we're going to be talking about the best 2 years of my life.
Roll the intro.
Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that little B-roll. Quick little tidbit. If you really like this podcast, consider supporting us in any way that you can. If you want to send us money, do it. If you want to tell your friends about it, tell your friends about it. If you want to just keep listening, just keep listening. And the more things that I say about things that you could do, the less you have to do those things.
It's true.
So deep.
But without further ado, we're going to be talking about Caden's mission trip. Where'd you go to your mission trip?
San Jose, California.
Ooh.
San Jose, California.
Did you stay in San Jose the whole time?
No, so that's just the name of the mission. There's countless missions across the world.
Mission code.
Yeah.
San Jose.
So
Objective.
it actually...
Convert.
Yeah, mission failed. Abort.
California's still horrible.
I got a double entendre there.
So it actually covered a huge area, all the way down from like Greenfield up to Fremont and around the whole Bay Area, except for San Francisco. That was its own mission. But yeah. So San Jose area. Mm-hmm.
How long were you there?
2 years.
2 whole years?
2 whole years.
I remember you going there, but I don't remember it being that long.
It was
2
It
years.
went by quick.
Yeah.
It literally, when I got home, weirdest. Like, I woke up from my first night home, and I could have sworn it was a dream.
Huh.
I was like, did I really just do that? Did that really happen? It's really hard to explain. And it's
it really
like,
put your life on hold.
Yeah.
For like 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So explain a little bit about the contact. Like, I mean, for lack of a better term, I'm going to say contact with the outside world while you were there.
Like how
limitations.
Limitations.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had limited access to the internet, and to friends and family back home. So things have changed. But when I was on my mission, I got to email back home every Monday, and then I got to call on the phone or Skype every Christmas and Mother's Day.
Twice a year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, twice a year.
Wow.
Now, I also called a couple times for other things, like, I called my dad about, like, college. I was like, hey, I need help. So I called him. But
the rules, did you?
no, I actually got permission first.
Ooh.
So was it more of an honor system thing, or was it...
Yeah, I mean, it really is all honor system.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess if they tried to enforce it, that'd be illegal.
yeah, exactly.
It'd be just like
Kidnapping.
kidnapping people for Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You're here for a reason.
Yeah.
So what church did you go with? Or do you go with a church, or do you just go off on your own? How does that work?
Yeah, so I was a member of the Church of, and am a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and they offer the mission as a program that you can do. Yeah, it's...
I don't mean to dig into the finances, but do you pay to go?
Mm-hmm.
Or, okay.
Yeah, so it's voluntary. They don't pay you. I came back with not an extra dime in my pocket.
Okay.
I volunteered.
I just want to...
Yeah. Okay, so they sustain you.
Okay.
Yeah, you're sustained.
Okay.
But they're not paying you. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
So yeah, they paid for housing, gas, food, even some clothing,
Yeah.
But if I wanted a Rolex, I'd have to pay for that.
Well, yeah.
I need a watch. Can you please cover this with the funds, please?
Yeah.
Now, my typical idea of what you were doing is a tie on a bicycle. Mm-hmm. Is that factual?
I did wear a tie every single day, and I rode a bike in a lot of my areas. So I moved around a lot and was assigned to different areas in the San Jose area. But sometimes we would have a car, depending on how... some areas were you're in the mountains, so of course you need a car. Some areas you're in the mountains and we can't afford a car. So you're on the bike. Man, my legs got huge. I'm telling you, I stretched those pants out in those areas. But it was great times, yeah. And I will say there's a lot of preconceived notions about the mission.
Yeah.
Even amongst members of my church, no one understands a mission. I'd say that's probably one of the biggest misunderstood things is the mission of the church. Even members of the church don't understand a mission unless they served a mission. And even if you served a mission, you don't know how someone else's mission was. It's just like life, you know.
Yeah.
You don't know someone else's life. They went through a whole different thing, whole different ball game.
You know what I've noticed about you? You're really good at going like really deep, really quick.
Oh yeah, is that good or bad?
I mean, you know, sometimes.
Okay.
I'm not going to say sometimes it's good or sometimes it's just sometimes.
What percentage of the church goes on a mission?
I don't know the exact percentage, but
Rough estimate, I guess.
I don't know.
Is it more of
It's
a, is
super
it more
hard.
of a rarity or more of a common?
It's becoming more and more common.
Okay, good.
Yeah. It used to be mainly young men. Young men would go, but now it's almost 50-50 with men and women. Which is great. It's fantastic. Women are way better at talking to people than men. You know, you see a couple unnervingly happy-looking guys with huge smiles on their faces and with this weird getup walking down the street. You're like, I'm not talking to them. But then you see two young ladies walking down the street, and they're like, hey, how's it going? You're like, yeah, I'll talk to you.
Hey.
I'm telling you, the girls crushed it. Like,
Really?
Yeah.
Would you like to talk about our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ?
They're like, oh yeah.
Let's go over here.
It's the unfortunate truth, but it's
Yeah.
the truth. Yeah.
Sometimes you have to play your cards right.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
the Lord.
For the Lord.
Yeah. That's why I exercised every morning.
Yeah.
So about how many people did you talk to a day?
Oh,
All of them.
all of them. That's my answer. No, it really depended on so many factors. Where I was at the time, the day, you know, and whether I had meetings.
Yeah.
But we usually tried to talk to everyone that we saw.
What was? I mean, it's hard to put spirituality on a success rate, but how often did you get someone truly interested in what you were trying to tell them?
That's also hard to judge because
like you mentioned, and I think it was our last podcast, that sometimes people from California had like a false sense of being like a waitress, just being nice and hearing you out to be nice.
Yeah, see that's where it gets iffy. Like, there's no way to judge how successful you were because I could get like 100 people to accept a return appointment. You know, like, hey, could we meet up with you again? And they're like, oh yeah, totally. You guys are delightful.
Yeah.
Like, but does that really mean they're interested? There's no way to tell.
Yeah.
Only God knows.
Well, how often did y'all have people like come to the church or return mission or whatever y'all called that?
Again, it depended on the area. And I spoke English. There were a lot of missionaries that were in foreign language speaking programs in my mission because the San Jose area is a boiling pot, like crazy. And so, unfortunately, English people are pretty cocky, pretty prideful. And so the Spanish missionaries would crush it. Oh, yeah. Like, they would have droves of people, you know, because the Spanish community generally is pretty humble and
religious.
humble living and very Christian oriented, you know, and so they would crush it. But you know, I'm knocking on like multi-million-dollar homes with a door that's like the size of 2 stories. It's like, and this little old lady opens the door. Hello, I'm like, hi. You want to be more happy? Wham! Yeah, it's
Now, me and John heard a story about a tree.
Oh, yeah.
I'll cut right to it. Did you pee on it? Tell us about this tree.
So there's a tree, the lone cypress. It's like one of the most photographed trees in the nation or something. I don't know why. It's a tree on some rocks. It's pretty, I guess. But there's a viewing dock. So I served in that area on Pebble Beach. A bloody rich area. And there's a viewing dock to see this tree, and I really, really needed to use the bathroom. And there's not a bathroom in miles. And no one else was there. Next question.
See? So do you feel bad at all?
No. Okay.
You're going
full disclosure, I couldn't reach the tree. It was a distance away, but
did you pee on it?
No urine reached the tree, but I peed in its direction, and I really tried. It's too far, man. Too far.
You did like comic strips too, didn't you? Like
I did.
all submissions.
Yeah. So each week, there's a president of the mission president. Kind of like our boss, I guess you could say, but he's really just a really good guy looking out for us. And each week we just need to check in, let him know that we're doing fine. And at the bottom of mine, we would send in a picture, and at the bottom of mine, I would just draw a quick comic of what happened that week. And I would usually put it in like, sci-fi theme or like fantasy theme or something funny. And the group chat that I would send this on all of a sudden started blowing up. Like missionaries all over started joining and adding each other so that they could watch this comic strip. It was hilarious and super fun. And then I actually got a job from that.
Really?
Yeah, illustrating for a book. Yeah.
Oh, what's the book?
It's called Walking Bear. It's about
Walking Bear.
Little Indian boy named Walking Bear. He has a horse named Pinto.
Yeah. Walking bear.
A walking bear riding a pinto.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's abstract.
Yeah. It's abstract.
It's out there. It's out there.
I will tell a story.
Tell me a story.
About a homeless man. But before I tell that story, a quick word from our sponsor.
Yes.
My companion and I were riding our bikes down El Camino, and we come across McDonald's, and we see out in front a man laying on the ground. He was pretty well dressed, button up and like some khakis, and we're like, what the heck? And so we pull over our bikes, and I run over there, and I'm like, sir, are you okay? Nothing. And so I kind of touch his shoulder. Sir, are you all right? Nothing. And so I give him a good shake. I'm like, sir. And then a guy, real sketchy guy, comes out of McDonald's. And he's like, yeah, I saw him go into the bathroom, run out, and pass out on the ground. I'm like, and you didn't think to call 911 or anything? He's like, I gotta go, man. He like dips.
Probably had a
and I'm
warrant.
like, whatever. So we call 911, and they're like, how can we help you? I don't know what they said. Hello, 911. How can we help you?
Emergency, please hang up and call a different
Hey,
number.
what's going on?
And I was like, we found a man laying on the ground, not moving, not responding in front of the McDonald's. And they're like, okay, is he a transient? And I was like, what the? And I like put the phone down and I'm like, Elder, what's a transient? He's like, I don't know. And I was like, no. And she's like, do you know what transient means? And I'm like, refresh me.
This is an emergency.
You have a man dying on the ground and you're worried about your ego?
And she's like, homeless. And I'm like, I don't think so. I mean, he doesn't look like well kept. He's got a beard and long hair, but he's well dressed. Mm-hmm. And she's like, okay, we'll send some people over. And I'm like, all right, great. So we hang up. And or maybe I'm still on the phone, I don't remember, but the ambulance pulls up, and as they're pulling up, I see the passenger glance out the window and see the body, and she just kind of throws her head back, and I'm like, what the heck?
Familiar.
And she swings open the door and just yells, Floyd, get up! Runs over there and just starts like slapping this guy, like trying to get him, and he wakes up and like starts crying or whatever. So ugh. Yeah, we had to like give a report or whatever, but yeah, he just the town drunk.
Yeah,
classic. Yeah,
Floyd.
We died. She just like swings the door open. Floyd, get up!
That's a perfect name for a guy.
Oh yeah,
Floyd.
That's so, I want to know that if you were on the phone
mm-hmm.
and if they were like, is he homeless? And if you would have said yes, would they have sent the ambulance?
Right.
Why would that make a difference?
That's a really good question.
Why would that make a difference?
Maybe they're trying to determine if it is Floyd.
Maybe.
That's so funny. But even still, like, shouldn't they try to get this guy medical attention. Like he
Yeah.
could be dead.
Like, why does it matter if he's
And be like,
homeless?
what color shirts you wearing?
Yeah. What color?
He's got nice teeth.
Has his fingernails well kept?
Oh man. Yeah. So we had weird scenarios like that all the time. There's this one time I wasn't there for it, but these two elders were driving, and the car in front of them, they're going down kind of like a freeway. Well, no, sorry, a highway with all sorts of bus stops and stuff off to the side. They're driving behind this car, and all of a sudden it starts to veer off.
Uh-oh.
So they kind of give it a little, but it goes up on the sidewalk, and then just creams a bus stop, just boom, and like flips over on it upside down and stuff. And so these elders hop out, and one of the elders is like, hardcore redneck, and he runs over and tries to pull open the door, but it's locked. And so he grabs his knife that has like, the window buster, and just smashes open the window. It was crazy. This guy was nuts, but I think the person died. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. Horrible end to the story, but
That's exactly what our squires came to hear.
yeah. But just when
you tell a
you're,
story.
I mean, you can attest to this. When you're out and about all day, every day, like, because you're never indoors, you're gonna see crazy crap.
Absolutely.
And you're gonna run into some crazy people.
You just learn how weird people are.
Oh yeah, real quick, especially Californians.
I'm
just
sure
kidding.
it's worse in California.
It's different. I don't know if worse.
It can't be as bad as Florida, though.
I lived in Florida.
That explains a lot. I'm just
Yeah, I
kidding.
know.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
does that come as a shock?
No.
Yeah, I grew up in Florida, and it was way different.
Really?
California was a culture shock. So different. But at the same time, everything was a shock to me at that point of my life.
Yeah. How old were you when you started it?
19.
19.
Yeah.
So it would have been into 21?
Yeah, I was 21 when I got home.
Okay.
Yeah, so they just changed it. It used to be you left on your mission at 19, but now you can leave it when you're 18.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah, and
So how did they pick California for you? Or is it random?
that's a really good question. So so I put in my application and fill out all this stuff, and it gets sent to the church headquarters out in Salt Lake City, Utah. And the apostles of the church review my application and look at a picture of me and pray and receive revelation of where I need to go.
Huh.
And then they send me a letter.
I thought just did it based off your picture. It's like, it looks like California.
It's like California. This guy needs a little California. You know what?
While I am a skeptic, or while I am a Christian, I am also a skeptic. I want to know what the revelation came in, like what form.
What form?
It's just like, all right, where should he go? And then just
They throw a dart at a map.
California.
Yeah. They blindfold the oldest guy in the room and throw a dart at a map, and that's where they go. No,
That sounded so like the truth. I believe you.
I wish it was. I did that on my mission. Unfortunately, we had a big map of our area, and I would throw. I think it was sticky tack or something, or maybe one of those sticky hand things. And wherever it landed, that's where we'd go talk to people.
Sticky hand.
Yeah. But that's a good question. Like, how does revelation come? And there honestly is no answer to that, because the way I look at it is every human being is different, right?
Sure.
I think we can agree with that. And God knows us perfectly. And so he knows exactly how we learn the best and how we listen and how we, improve. And so he's going to talk to each one of us how we specifically need to be talked to. So for me, I personally receive revelation. Actually, I've received revelation in many different forms, but the main one is by love in my heart. When I feel love in my heart for like everyone, and especially like if I have a question about someone or something, and I can feel that burning love, like unexplainable love for this person, that's when I know that it's the Spirit of God talking to me.
I think I get my revelation through denial.
Denial.
What does that mean?
Or rejection. I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
Well, sort of.
But
I feel like
So I don't know how they received revelation.
Okay.
It could have been a clear voice, or it could have been like
the heebie-jeebies.
they looked at the
Could've got
map
a feeling.
and they felt like California.
Okay.
Yeah. But
That answer satisfies me.
cool.
I like it.
Yeah. It's a pretty interesting process. A lot of interviews to.
Kind of like this one, or more.
No, it's more like, do you feel like you're ready to live life alone for 2 years? And you have to.
What was your response to that question?
Well, I guess it wouldn't come in that particular phrasing, but if I did respond, I probably would have said yes when the actual answer is no. I was not ready. But I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. But then I was not. I got my butt whooped out there. Like, man, it's brutal. Yeah.
Man.
Well, do you have any other questions for Caden?
I'm trying to think.
It's hard because, like, it's literally, that's one of the hardest things. That's one of the reasons why there's such a gap between, the mission, what it truly is, and what people think the mission is. Is because it's so impossible to put into words what it was like.
Yeah.
Because it was 2 whole years. There's no way a single interview, or even, like, living with someone, are you going to be able to explain those 2 years. And it's such a bizarre 2 years too. Never in your life, at least I hope, I will live like that.
Damn.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Again, it's happiest years of my life, but like I didn't have a life.
It's the most fun you never want to have again. Is that?
That's a really good way of putting it. Like, I grew in those 2 years more than I have ever grown in my entire life. But I'm done. I want to move on. There's more to life, and that's what they encourage. When you're done with your 2 years, they're like, move on. Because a lot of people, they're kind of obsessed with it. They're like, I have to keep doing missionary work because it's so fulfilling. Like, I have yet to find more joy in something than to help someone find joy in themselves, and so you kind of easily get obsessed with it. So they encourage, like, okay, now that you're back home, move on, go find a girl, get married, like, just move on with your life, go get a job, like.
Yeah.
This is anything but this. Just do anything.
Yeah. Now, yeah. Obviously, like, live the gospel and live what you taught, but
stop loitering.
Yeah. But quit knocking on my door. Yeah.
That's interesting.
You're off the clock.
You're off the clock. You've already clocked out 2 years ago. Get off my lawn.
Shut up.
Here's a misconception someone had. Someone asked me. They're like, do you ride bikes because you think God loves you more for working hard? They asked me that. They're like, do you think God loves you more because you ride a bike?
I think God loves me more because I'm better than you.
Yes.
I'm your favorite child.
Yeah, that's what I should have said. I should have said, no, that he doesn't love me more because of that.
Because I'm better than you.
Yeah. I just want to clarify that I think that comes from people thinking that my church focuses on the works, like, oh, it's the works that get you into heaven, when that is the furthest from the truth. We firmly believe that is, Christ who saves you, no other way. There's literally nothing that I could do to get into heaven. Literally nothing. No single thing. I could ride that bike to hell and back, and I'll never make it to heaven, know? But this person just thought that because I'm working hard and I'm sweating for God, that God loves me more. And that's, of course, not the truth. They're like, that's why you're riding a bike, isn't it? No, I'm riding a bike because I don't have to pay for gas.
I'm riding this bike and talking to people like you so that you don't burn in hell.
Yeah, exactly.
You're welcome.
That's so funny. Yeah, like, we actually, nowadays, almost every missionary has a car, at least in the U.S. I'm not sure about other countries, but because, we've just gotten to the point where the church can afford that,
Yeah.
Actually, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has the largest fleet of cars, or the second largest fleet of cars.
That's
cool.
cool.
Second to, like, a rental car company or something. And
That's wild.
it's all to missionaries. All the missionaries. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And those cars are so what's the word, like watched after, like protected, like censored maybe, like they make sure every jot and tittle is marked on that car. Like, yeah, it's crazy. Like we do like inspections, like I don't know, every couple months we got to bring the car in, make sure that it's up to code. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, California probably has like codes.
Oh yeah, smog tests and stuff. The bikes though, the bikes are fair game. Man, I had the crappiest bike. There's a shed at the mission office. There's like the main hub. There's a shed full of bikes that missionaries just left. You know, they're like, I'm going home. I don't need this bike. I'll leave it for someone. And it just stockpiled bikes and bikes and bikes. So many bikes. And I go in there and I found the diamond in the rough. It was a single speed fixie white bike, orange rims. This thing was like, it
looked cool.
Yeah,
super hard to pedal.
Looked cool. Super hard to pedal, and it like whenever I moved the handlebars at all, it just squealed, and the brakes too, just. How's it going?
Like, here comes those Jesus people.
You got on it the first time, and you're like, this is it.
Yeah, this is it. This is the one. And my companion had a fixie as well, and it was black, jet black. And we got moved into a mountainous region, and that's when my legs exploded.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. Now I'm back to chicken legs, but don't look at my legs.
Please don't look at me.
Well,
I feel like I've gotten to know you a little bit more. Like you said, I'll never understand it, but
yeah, it's really hard. I wish
depth,
like we'll just have to get to know each other more and more. And it's so hard too, because when we're having conversation, you'll say something. It's like a dream. You'll say something that I'm like, oh yeah, that happened on my mission.
Yeah,
I got to tell you that story. But if you ask me like right now to like tell you what's the craziest thing that happened on your mission, I'm like, frick. I
had 2 years worth of files.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I dropped a donut once and picked it up and ate it anyways. that was wild. Like
crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's like it's so hard to keep track of all those files, like you said. Yeah, but that's it.
But you enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, and if anyone has an opportunity to do anything remotely close to that, I recommend it. Holy, life changing. Yeah.
Go out and do something.
Go out and do something.
Jesus.
And while you're out doing that, drop us a like.
Yeah. While you're pedaling on your bike, going down the street, you could be listening to this podcast.
Yeah.
That's an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
We're going to have too many episodes.
And instead of spreading the word about Jesus Christ, you spread the word about Squire time. It's the same thing. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Have you heard the good news? Hold up a picture of Squire time.
Add that as like a footnote to Jesus.
Yeah.
Now that you accepted Jesus, accept Squire time.
No, but in all seriousness, whatever your faith, just believe it.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, thank you, Squires, for your time.
Boom.